Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Dark and Creepy. All stories are written and narrated by me, MC Allen. I beg of you, don't make us move to that house. That's the creepy family's old home, I said while clinging on to my mother's shoulders. Charlene, your father and I have been offered a great deal on it, and it has enough rooms for your family members to each have their own for once. My mother responded as she pried out of my firm grasp. The real estate agent continued to show our family around the house, which showed how abused it had been. It wasn't terrible or dirty, it just was strange in how it was laid out. There were some doors that had locks on the outside of them, making it able for someone to be locked in a room without a way to escape. The old wood stairs led down to the basement floor, where a slight cold draft could be felt seeping through the poorly insulated walls. On the walls were noticeable white patches, where it looks like someone fixed and covered up holes. The home was previously owned by people in the neighborhood that were avoided due to how strangely they acted, as if everything they did, they were trying to hide something from someone. From the way they closed their blinds during the day, to how they always avoided eye contact when passing people on the street. The deal on the house was too good to pass by, so my parents bought the house to my dismay. I was happy to be able to have my own room for once, but this place has always been looked at as the weird house on the block. And so by us buying it, it makes us look weird. I can't live my high school years known as the weird girl that lives in the creepy old house. The thought dug in like a thirsty tick. A week has gone by since we bought the house, and we have worked non-stop to fix it up from its prior state. We removed all the random locks on the outside of the doors, and it finally is starting to look like a normal home. I have 3 other family members, and we are all fairly close in age to each other. I'm the oldest, being 16. Then it goes Jack, who's 14, Lily, who's 12, and Sarah, who's 9 years old. One night, our parents decided to go out for dinner, leaving me in charge of the family. We watched a few episodes of The Office, but soon became bored, and Jack wanted to play a scary game. Sarah, however, disagreed and instead wanted to play a board game or tag. "Why don't we play hide and go seek?" I asked everyone as we sat on the old couch trying to decide on what to do. Sarah and Lily agreed excitedly, but Jack still asked unpersuaded, "That's not scary at all, though." "Okay. How about we play it in the dark, and I will turn on scary music in the background," I said while trying to appease both sides. "Sure, that would be fun," Jack replied anxiously, but Sarah was hesitant about it, but soon agreed. So I looked up scary music on YouTube and got it ready for the game to begin. We drew names on who would go first, and I pulled Lily's name out of the old ball cap. I explained the rules, saying, "So Lily, you will give us 30 seconds to go hide in the house upstairs or downstairs. Remember, no one can go outside because I don't want anyone getting lost or kidnapped. Next is that when you are found, you help the person who's it. Search for the people remaining, and the first person found is it for the next round. The last rule is that no one can turn on any lights until everyone is either found or the people looking give up. Everyone understand?" They all nodded their heads, agreeing, and we got the game started. I set my phone playing the eerie music on the granite countertop as the 3 of us went to hide. Meanwhile, Lily closed her eyes and counted. "Charlene, can I hide with you? I'm scared of the dark," Sarah asked as I was trying to crawl under our parents' bed. I understood why she was scared, and so I replied, "Sure, come lay next to me under here, but remember to be quiet." She nodded as she quietly snuggled next to me as we both looked through at the floor around the bed. In the other room, I could hear Jack running down the creaky stairs. Soon, the 30 seconds ran out, and we could hear Lily walking down the hall and opening up doors. Sarah covered her face in my armpit and tightly gripped my side. The door to the room opened, and I expected to soon see Lily's feet walk in front of the bed. But no one ever came walking in. That's when I heard a big, "Got you!" come from downstairs where Jack was hiding. I wondered who opened the door, if both Jack and Lily were downstairs. But I shook it off my mind the best I could. It was probably just a gust of wind from the cooler that caused it to swing open. That's when I felt a cold hand brush my right leg, which sent tingles up my side. "Why are your hands so cold, Sarah? Don't touch my leg," I asked. I shook out my limb, trying to get rid of the sensitive tingling that still remained. "I didn't touch your leg. My hands are around your waist," she responded as she pressed them into my sides to prove it. I looked down to where my leg was, and thought I saw a pale hand quickly retreat back into the darkness. It scared me, but it was so fast, I felt as if it was made up by my own imagination, mixed with the light reflecting from the moon. Soon enough, there were 2 sets of footsteps checking each room, and they entered the room we were hiding in. Jack's wide eyes glowed in the dark as he peered under the bed, seeing me and Sarah. "Here they are, Lily. I found them," Jack yelled out as Lily turned on the lights and we crawled out from underneath the bed. Jack was it this time, and Sarah went to hide with Lily instead of me, as I chose to run downstairs and hide in one of the clothes hampers. I covered my head in dirty shirts, so no one could see me, and all I could hear was the eerie background music playing softly from upstairs. I listened to every sound that was made, trying to figure out where Jack was, and that's when I heard something coming from the vent. It sounded like a spider, trapped in a glass jar, mixed with the scratching of fingernails against metal. Is someone really trying to hide in the vent? I asked myself, as I realized that the only one small enough to fit in the vent was Sarah. But she never would have done so, because she was claustrophobic. I then wondered if an animal could have gotten in there. Whatever it was, it seemed to be moving closer to where I was hiding. Was the sound that echoed from the metal vent in the ceiling above my head, and it continued to move ever so closer to me, until I felt it was directly above me. That's when it stopped. In a moment, all was still and quiet. It came from the vent, as if something was trying to break through and grab me. "Knock it off!" I yelled with my heart pumping, still wondering if it might have been Sarah up there. It stopped, and I heard footsteps running down the stairs. And Jack, Lily, and Sarah came running into the room while flicking on the light. "What's wrong?" Jack asked with a raised eyebrow. "There's something in the vent. Didn't you guys hear that?" I responded while gesturing to the vent above me. "I didn't hear anything," Lily replied as Sarah snuggled up against her and seemed frightened by what I was saying. "Huh. I guess it was nothing then. Let's get back to the game," I said as I got out of the laundry basket, trying my best to act as if nothing was wrong. "Okay, but you're it this time since you screamed," Jack said while he began to walk back upstairs. I agreed, and after counting for 30 seconds, I started to search the dark house. I enjoyed scaring my siblings, so I would scratch up surfaces and bang on doors trying to freak them out. So as I was going about doing this, I heard Jack screaming from downstairs, "Stop! Charlene, this isn't funny!" I stood perplexed on why he was yelling at me to stop when I was upstairs. Were the sound effects I was making really that scary? So I turned on the lights and ran down the stairs to find Jack laying on the last stair. When I turned on the lights, he looked at me with the widest eyes I've ever seen before in my life and since. You were just crawling toward me, with your head twisted around," he muttered while trembling. "How did you get behind me on the stairs?" "I never was down here until now," I replied questioningly. We both just stayed there, not moving a muscle, while looking at each other, reflecting on everything that has happened that night. Sarah and Lily came running, and I told Jack not to tell Sarah anything, or else she would have nightmares about it. We stopped playing the game, and quickly turned off the eerie background music. We've never played that game since then, in that house. We told our parents what happened that night, but they didn't believe us at first, until they started to have their own supernatural experiences in the house. We soon moved, and I was happy about it, but I still could not imagine staying in that house any longer than what we did. I don't know why the people who owned that house before us had locks on the outside of doors, but maybe they did things to people in that house that has caused them to come back to reap their revenge. All I can say is if you or your family are planning to buy a house, Make sure you've done your research on it, or you might find a girl crawling toward you in the dark of the night.